BlackBerry has always been known for security, productivity, communications. So it mattered most for those mostly in the business setting, especially what we call the regulated world, already regulated industry, the government, the banks, and so forth.
And if we think about where these devices are going to be seen, should we think of AT&T stores that are, for example, near Wall Street as opposed to a mall that isn't necessarily near some corporate center? Is that the way to think about where physically we're going to see some of these devices going forward?
Well, those you got to ask AT&T. but of course we would love to see AT&T put it near Wall Street. But I think the more important thing is, AT&T and a number of other major carriers like Verizon and so forth had all agreed to help us in the enterprise space. We're going to the enterprise space together. So a lot of them are direct account to account. You could probably see a lot of that on the web and on various different, major conferences and so forth.
If we think about this new deal that you have with Foxconn, which seems to take some risk out of the equation, especially inventory risk, where could that deal eventually go? If we think about going beyond just manufacturing the hardware and the sales and the design, I mean, how should we be thinking about this Foxconn relationship with BlackBerry?
There's a lot that Foxconn brings to the table, especially in hardware designs. They know the designs very well. They know how to design good stuff and clear, stuff like that. Now, we need to still be managing what is being designed, and especially the software world, in which we will definitely manage and control. But Foxconn could be a really great partner, not only to eliminate my inventory risk, also some of their ability to penetrate various different markets is called the emerging and developing market. They kind of had a better pulse on that, and I think I will leave them to help us over those and maybe collaborate over some of these markets. So yes, they will be helping us a little bit in the market. They will be helping us a little bit in helping the hardware design part of it, and we're going to build some great phones together.
If we think about where the hardware is going, the BlackBerry 10, for example, the operating system, to gain traction, having devices is important. Mm-hmm. Once you've gained the traction that you're satisfied with or happy with on the operating system side, is there even a need to actually have the physical hardware?
Well, that's a long-term conversation. But for now, we definitely need those hardwares. So I think today the world may shift. I'm in the business long enough to know that you never say never. The world may shift, but it's important for me to focus the company on enterprise, on security, on productivity, on communications. And if I could do that and become a major player, if not the market dominant player in these areas, then whether we have the device and collaborate with the device or that's not an important thing. But that's a very long-term conversation. You
did mention emerging markets. As you roll out some of these new devices, especially through this partnership with Foxconn, are you looking at doing both touchscreen and keyboard devices? Have you made any final decisions on that for the first ones to roll off the line?
I think there was enough leaks in the market that the first one is a touchscreen. So I'm not going to confirm or deny it. I'm just going to tell you that. I personally love the keyboards. And so you will look to BlackBerry going forward to keyboards. I wouldn't use the word exclusively, but predominantly.
Interesting you say that. There is this BlackBerry lawsuit tied to a company called Typo, which is here at CES as well. Ryan Seacrest is an investor in this company. It makes this slip-on keyboard that can be used with iPhone devices. Why are you suing this company? In a lawsuit environment, I shouldn't comment too much about it. But I will only say this. BlackBerry has 44,000 patents. I think it's important that we gain some business benefits through our ownership of those patents and our ownership of IP. And QWERTY keyboard is extremely important to BlackBerry. So combination of all that, you could go put that together. All right, you have hired Ron Lukes to head up your devices business. This is somebody who has worked for HTC and Sony Ericsson. Tell us about him.
you know, what he will bring to the table for BlackBerry?
Oh, Ron's a very creative guy. What impressed me about Ron, you know, he could take a phone, he could touch the phone, he'll look at the phone 30 yards from the phone or 40 feet from the phone, and he would tell you a lot about the phone. And I think he's more in touch with, you know, not only the technology and design to make a phone great, but how people like the phone. And I came from an enterprise software background. I'm kind of a management kind of person, and so that level of skill I need to have. You know, I don't have that. Oh, this is really cool stuff. You know, I'm not that kind of person. I'm a very factual engineer, but I love the fact that he knows how to put phones together, and he knows what the phone is, what a cool phone is, right? So I love for him to help us there.
Let's shift from the phone to BlackBerry Messenger, which is another part of the business, and something that you've made available on different platforms, on, you know, for iPhones and Android devices. How do you make money from that?
Well, today there are actually a lot of channels. You know, a corporation will run channels with us, and we'll get some money out of it. But that's, honestly speaking, you know, it's a welcome set of money, but it's not a humongous amount of money. I like it from an enterprise point of view. You know, I think every enterprise would love to have their own secure messaging intranet. And I think this should tie to what we offer to enterprises as part of the server. So the EBBM, I call it, enterprise BBM, is important. So it has a gateway to both, you know, communicate inside in a very secure manner, private manner, by the way. We use pin-to-pin, so private manner, and also externally to your friends and families and all that. So I think those serve both ways. So that's where I think the bulk of the money is going to come from. You know, eventually we will also, when the volume is big enough, we will partner with some retail situation. You know, I think advertising is interesting. It's always tough, but we're not going to say we're not going to do that.